One thing I never share on social media is how I used to sell in college. And then I sold the textbooks on Amazon for a $700 payout. That's when I was like, holy shit, books are more money than... It's just fucking crazy. What up, guys? Test. Testicles in Reezy's mouth.
Never that. We're back.
We're here.
Welcome back to the Amazon Fleshticles.
We're on the Amazon Savages podcast, car edition in California. Here with Reezy Resells and...
Is that a podcast name? Savages?
Amazon Savages, yeah.
That's fucking savage.
Yeah, we're almost to 70 episodes. Haven't released one in a long time, though.
So FYI, we literally just rigged up some shit in the car. We got all kinds of adapters and cables going on.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
We're definitely not selling.
Wow. Now that's a story. That Avery Romer and his story about selling
Flashback.
So yeah, when I was in college, that was like when I realized I was selling at the time. And my friends were coming down for a spring break trip. And literally, they were like, we don't have any money. And I was like, you guys have textbooks? And they gave me $700 worth of textbooks for like $150 worth of They gave me the textbooks. And then I sold the textbooks on Amazon for a $700 payout. That's when I was like, holy shit, books are more money than... It's just fucking crazy.
and less risky.
And less, oh, maybe,
and less,
that's debatable.
And less risky.
That was for real, like, big for me because when I sold the textbooks on Amazon, I was like, fuck, I sold these for $700. I could have sold this for $300 downtown. I only paid $150 for it. And so my friends literally gave me $700 worth of textbooks, something legal that I sold on Amazon.
And how was selling textbooks on Amazon even an idea for you? You must have sold some before.
It was because the bookstore paid like 10% of the value, and I just felt like I was getting ripped off. So I started selling my textbooks on Amazon, then all my friends' textbooks in college, and then eventually I came across your content.
So you just happened to look at Amazon and go, can I sell books there? And you're like, oh, I can.
No,
how did you know you could?
It was just like, I was like, holy shit, these textbooks are so expensive. The bookstore's paying me 10%. Like, I wonder if I can sell these online. And so I went on eBay, went on Amazon, and then...
Oh, you just Googled how to sell books online?
I MF'd them like the first semester, and then it was actually you kept talking about FBA and how it's such a big opportunity, and I was like sold on it. And so that's when I started shipping all my books FBA. I went to the library and there was a bunch of free books they had, and I took every single free book, didn't even scan them, I just put them in a box and created an FBA shipment, printed 30 up labels in the library. So I didn't even pay for the labels.
Didn't even scan them?
Yeah, I didn't scan them. I just sent in like 20, 30 books in like probably like a 70-pound box. And this is like 2016, 2017. And like probably like 10% of them sold.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that was enough for you?
Well, I got lucky because like on college campuses, textbooks sell, you know, because like they're good fast-selling books. But... dude, there was like 15 million ranked like religious books I sent in, and I think I found out like 2 years later that those books were still in my inventory, just like I was paying fees on them. But it was only like 2 boxes, so it wasn't terrible, and the long-term storage fees weren't that bad back then.
Right, yeah. Back in the day, it was like free basically to store books at Amazon.
Yeah.
Dude, so back when I first started, there was no long-term storage fee at all. None at all. Was there any one when you started? What was the long-term storage fee when you started?
I remember getting hit with a long-term storage fee for like one of the religious books, and like it must have been 2017 when I got hit.
So I don't remember exactly the dates, but like the first long-term storage fee was once a year, right? But basically it was still only on a certain date, a fixed date. And so then you could send in stuff after that date, and then when that date came around, it will have not been a year yet. Do you know what I mean? So we'd literally like, oh shit, the date's coming up, let's hoard our inventory for a while, and then send it in the week after that date. So then you get basically 2 years until you get charged again. So then they got wiser, and then they made it biannually every 6 months, but it's still on a fixed date.
Yeah.
And then they got even smarter, and then they made it rolling 6 months, which is where we're at now.
But it also never felt like that big of a deal, because periodically they did like free
Yep.
removals.
Which they
And-
don't do anymore.
Yeah, so like every few months they just do free removals. There's a free removal program. So you just send in a bunch of shitty books. Who cares if they don't sell?
Yep.
You could just pay for removals. And what'd you pay? Like 25 cents? 50
It was like
cents?
15 cents, I think, for a small paperback. It
Well,
was
you don't
like
even pay
nothing.
removal fees, and you're paying like what, 20, 30 cents for inbound shipping fees. So it's like, why not send in everything and just see if it sells?
Right. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Just trim the fat as you go along.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was watching your content just for like how to make FBA shipments back then. And like you said it with such conviction that I was like, oh, I have to do this. I think you were talking about the prime bump, and that's what sold me on it.
Yeah. Well, used to be much better back in the day, right?
It's still pretty good for books.
No, I'm not saying it's not there. I'm just saying like the amount of offers that you have that ability to do it on is a lot less.
Yeah.
But back in the day, like so okay, when the year that I started FBA, which I think was the year that FBA came out for people, right? Like I remember I got the email from Amazon talking about we could do it, and I was like thinking most of my competitors didn't see it, my local competitors or something.
When was it? It was like 14, 15? 16?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe right before I started YouTube, so maybe 15 or 14, because I started YouTube in 2016. But anyways, I went from buying like 5 bags of books a day, 1 to 5 on an average day, to buying like 10 to 20 or 40. And it was like any book I touched, the lowest it could sell for FBA was $3.99. Or $4 basically, and we could make 1 penny, we could make $1.35. So check it out. People back then, you couldn't adjust your shipping, so shipping was fixed for everybody at $3.99, right? And so the cheapest someone could sell a book for was a penny, and they were called penny booksellers, and people were selling them for a penny and then making their money on the shipping, right? But as an FBA seller, I could sell that same book for $4 and get paid out $1.35. Do you see what I'm saying? So, and my offer would always get the buy box over them because it was FBA. You know what I mean? And it was like a premium offer, and they were merchant fulfilled or whatever. So basically any book I touched, and for a long time we were first just selling them all. We're like, oh, let's just get all these mass market paperbacks because you could fit a gazillion of them in a bag, and we were buying it by the bag. And like rank wise, then that turned into like, oh, we don't have to make them $4. We can make them higher, because we probably didn't even have a repricer yet at this point. We haven't figured that out. So we're like getting, like, oh, some of these are going for like 6 or 7 instead of $4, Then it turned into like, oh fuck, almost all of these books. Then we start sending some of our inventory, then eventually all of it. And then it became this huge thing of, because we're getting books like at the Goodwill outlet, the bins or whatever, and different places like that where we have competition, we now have to do 10 times as much work because we have to go through everything that everyone else throws back. Before we would just like, yep, they, we all have roughly the same profit levels and shit. I'm not wasting my time going through your throwbacks, But now it's like textbooks that were like, oh, merchant fulfilled, you could sell this 5-pound book and maybe make $3, but you don't really want to fuck with that for a 5-pound book. It takes up a good portion of a bag. Like, it's just a hassle. But then I would scan it and the rank would be stupid, and it'd be 150 brand new selling for 60 FBA. And like, we were getting 10 bags of textbooks like that a day that no one else wanted, but the prime bump was literally fucking $50, $60. Like, from worthless to $50 profit, and it was like every book with a good rank. It was fucking insane.
Looking for a brand Miami. Looking for a brand Miami. Velocidade de tipo do Sonic. Todo dia me leva aonde quiser chegar. Na session eu tô em outra home.